Have you ever felt like life is shifting, but you can't explain why? Maybe you're facing challenges, losing people, or feeling spiritually unsettled. These moments aren't random. They could be signs that Allah is preparing you for something much greater. When Allah wants to elevate a believer, He doesn't just change their surroundings, He transforms their soul. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful signs that you're being prepared for a higher purpose. If any of these signs sound familiar, don't ignore them, they may be your signal to rise. Let's dive in and uncover the deeper wisdom behind your journey. 1. Increased hardships. One of the clearest signs that Allah is preparing you for something greater is a sudden increase in hardships. These challenges might come in different forms: financial pressure, emotional pain, broken relationships, or even spiritual confusion. What once felt stable begins to shake, and you may find yourself wondering, why is this happening now? But in reality, these trials are not punishments, they are hidden blessings. Allah knows what lies ahead in your journey, and sometimes, He needs to break certain attachments or habits before elevating you. The pain you feel is often the pain of transformation, not destruction. Through hardship, your soul is being refined, your ego humbled, and your reliance on worldly things reduced. During these times, your du'as become more sincere, and your heart softens. You begin to reflect more deeply, seek forgiveness, and turn to Allah with desperation. This is a divine setup, not a setback. When life becomes difficult, it's a sign that Allah sees potential in you. He's clearing a path for something more meaningful. So, instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What is Allah preparing me for?" Because behind every hardship, there's a divine wisdom shaping your future for something far greater. 2. Isolation or loneliness. Another subtle but powerful sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater is a sudden sense of isolation or loneliness. You may find yourself drifting away from people, even those you were once close to. Invitations stop coming, conversations feel empty, and your circle may shrink without any clear reason. This loneliness isn't always a punishment. In fact, it can be a divine blessing in disguise. Often, Allah pulls His servant away from the noise of the world to purify the heart and deepen spiritual awareness. It is in solitude that many people discover their true selves, reconnect with their purpose, and build a stronger, more intimate relationship with their Creator. When distractions are removed, clarity begins to grow. This isolation might also be Allah's way of protecting you, keeping you away from harmful influences or negative environments that could block your growth. During this period, you may begin to enjoy your own company, reflect more deeply, and find contentment in remembrance and worship. So instead of fearing loneliness, embrace it as a sacred space where transformation begins. It's in this silence that you may hear the guidance you've been seeking, and become ready for the bigger plans Allah has written for you. 3. Unexplained restlessness. Sometimes, when Allah is preparing you for something bigger, you begin to feel a deep, unexplained restlessness within your soul. Nothing seems to satisfy you the way it used to, not your job, your routines, or even your social life. You may feel like you're meant to be doing something more, but you can't quite figure out what it is. This internal unease isn't random, it's often a spiritual awakening in progress. This restlessness is Allah stirring your heart, removing your comfort from temporary things so that you start seeking what is eternal and meaningful. You may begin to question your purpose more often, reflect on your direction in life, or crave more depth in your worship and connection with Allah. It's a divine signal urging you to move, grow, and evolve, even if the destination isn't fully visible yet. Rather than ignoring these feelings, it's important to lean into them. Reflect, make dua, and ask Allah for clarity. Many times, this discomfort is what leads people to major breakthroughs, changing careers, starting a mission, or transforming spiritually. It's not confusion, it's preparation. Allah is pushing you out of the ordinary so He can guide you toward the extraordinary. 4. Doors closing. One of the most confusing and painful signs that Allah is preparing you for something bigger is when the doors you were counting on suddenly close. You might lose a job opportunity you worked hard for, a relationship you prayed would succeed, or a goal you pursued with full effort. It can feel like failure or rejection, but in reality, it could be divine redirection. Sometimes, we become attached to paths that are not meant for us. We plan with limited vision, while Allah plans with complete knowledge. When certain doors shut, it may be because they would have led you away from your true purpose, harmed your iman, or delayed your growth. Allah, out of His mercy, intervenes by removing what you don't see as harmful, yet. These closed doors often force you to pause, reassess, and realign your goals. You start to realize that your timeline isn't the only one that matters. Allah's plan is unfolding, even in your disappointments. And often, it's after one door closes that another, more meaningful one opens. You may not understand it now, but in hindsight, you'll thank Allah for the no, because it was leading you to a far better yes. 5. Stronger faith and spiritual pull. Another beautiful sign that Allah is preparing you for something greater is the sudden, strong pull toward your faith. You might find yourself drawn to prayer more deeply than before, feeling peace in reading the Quran, or yearning to spend quiet moments in reflection and dhikr. This shift doesn't always come from external influence, it often arises from within, without any obvious cause. This inner awakening is not accidental. It's Allah softening your heart, increasing your awareness of Him, and gently pulling you toward a closer relationship. You may begin to feel uncomfortable with things you once ignored, like missing a salah, engaging in gossip, or delaying repentance. Your conscience becomes more alert, and your soul more sensitive to right and wrong. This spiritual pull is a sign that Allah is preparing your heart for something greater. Before He gives you what's next, He's strengthening your connection to Him, so you're spiritually ready to handle the responsibility or blessing that's coming. With this renewed faith, your decisions become clearer, your values stronger, and your heart more at peace. It's a divine upgrade of your soul, a sign that you are being guided and prepared for something far beyond the ordinary. 6. Inner growth through pain. One of the most overlooked signs that Allah is preparing you for something greater is the personal growth that happens quietly within, especially through emotional or spiritual pain. You may go through situations that break your heart, shake your confidence, or test your patience. But somewhere in that struggle, you begin to change. You become more reflective, more humble, and more compassionate, not just toward others, but toward yourself. This kind of pain doesn't leave visible scars, but it reshapes your character. You begin to recognize your weaknesses and work on them. You start practicing sabr not because you have no choice, but because you now understand its value. You become more grateful, not only for blessings but for the lessons hidden in hardship. You learn to surrender without giving up, and to trust without seeing the full picture. This quiet transformation is a powerful sign that you're being spiritually upgraded. Allah is molding you into someone who can carry the weight of greater responsibilities, deeper blessings, or bigger missions. You are not just surviving your pain, you are growing through it. And in that growth lies the preparation for the beautiful chapter that Allah is about to unfold in your life. If you've recognized any of these signs in your life, know that Allah hasn't forgotten you, He's preparing you. Trust His timing, stay patient, and keep your heart connected to Him. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Profound Deen for more soul-healing reminders. Comment below, Ya Allah, strengthen me for what you've written for me. May Allah guide you, protect you, and elevate you in both worlds. Ameen.